You're listening to Season 6 of Three Angry Giant Fans and Jet Fan Podcast, brought to you by Rugged Uncle and Carolina Beer Temple. Join us each week as we go over news and notes of the Jets and Giants, give our pet peeves, and basically just gripe about our team's dismal performances as of late. Also go to our website, angryfootballfans.com, and download our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We have a lot of fun doing this. We enjoy all of our fans. Go Jets and go Giants.
NFL weapon. Aubrey, does he have enough? On the way, it is! Good! That's why they trusted him! Never a doubt! On to overtime! Wow!
So that is a call of the Aubrey 64-yard field goal, which basically has become commonplace in today's NFL. And we'll talk about the ins and outs of how we got there, how the Giants allowed that to happen. But Giants had a lead with 25 seconds left, back-breaking loss, back-breaking tying field goal, and they won in the overtime. And guys, we're here again. This time, we're talking about the Giants having a moral victory possibly and the Jets being devastated, but either way we're both saying they're fucking 0-2.
Yeah.
0-2.
Yeah, did everyone notice that essentially the Giants played the Jets game from last week and the Jets played the Giants game from last week? So we've all we just reversed the game.
We just flipped it.
Yeah.
Yep, and we both lost on a 60-yard field goal.
Yep, at the buzzer.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's that met death. I'm telling you, it's met death.
Well, the Giants set we set all kinds of ridiculous records last year, all-time futility. We did it once again. So yesterday, the Giants now stand alone in NFL history for surrendering game-tying or game-winning field goals of 60 yards or more. It's happened 4 times against the New York Giants. 4 for 4, by the way, without a miss.
Yeah.
4 for 4.
4 for
How
4.
does that happen?
In this situation?
And
No
I
other
could probably I can name at least 3 of them. I know Aubrey, Elliott, and Gano. I'm not sure who the 4th one is.
The other one is Greg Joseph on the Vikings. In the season, we actually went 9-7-1 and made the playoffs. That was so Joseph on the was 61 yards. I think to win the either to tie or win. I don't remember exactly.
That was a few weeks before the playoffs started, right?
Yeah. So we lost brutally on the regular season, but then got them back in the playoffs. But we'll get into it, Scott. So I just again I had to make mention of the I think I heard this correctly. The rest of the NFL is 3 for 41 in terms of game tying or winning field goal attempts of over 60 yards. Nobody misses against the New York Giants, I guess, from over 60 yards.
And it doesn't matter what stadium they're in. It doesn't. It's the Giants uniform. It's the only explanation. Nobody misses these kicks against the Giants, and not to mention just the game winners, the 60-yard game winners, yes, but it's like we got cursed after Super Bowl 25.
Yep.
Nobody misses big kicks against us. Nobody.
No, we're paying the
now,
price for that.
I do think we blocked one last year, the year before to win a game, something like that. But
against Seattle, last year.
Yeah. Nobody misses kicks against us.
And I know we'll get into this because it is a big storyline here. But before we do, let's give a shout out because I have a ton of notes tonight. We have a ton of questions. We're going to be struggling to keep this one short, but good call out here. So hello, Milford, Connecticut, population 50,500. And this is funny. In like 1912, Quaker Oat boxes came up with a coupon for a legal deed to a tiny lot in Milford. So those lots that people would redeem from their oatmeal box would be called oatmeal lots. It's also the home of the Bic lighter factory, and it's the home of Dan Patrick from ESPN. Can you imagine, how you reach in for the cereal box and you're getting like a toy? Here you get a deed to a lot.
Yeah, I'll bet those are on Park Avenue there in Milford. Broadway.
Connecticut is one of those states. Is it part of the tri-state area? Is it part of New England? It's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it sort of floats out there. Yeah, tri-state area. Westchester County probably part of the tri-state area, but then you got people that like swear they're in Boston.
Exactly. It's like a tweener.
No, the office had they had an office in Stamford, so that was Connecticut. In case nobody realized that, so that's where Jim met Karen out there. So yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, that's Connecticut.
Yeah. So, guys, like we were talking, lots of stuff to talk about. I mean, Giants and Cowboys. I mean, look, that game was a very entertaining game to watch, and yet, as a fan, you come left out of that. Just I feel more gutted from a game like that than I would, a 41-0 blowout. It that wrapped up everything we hate about the NFL in a bow, and I'll give you reasons why after we have some discussions here.
It's brutal. I mean, I disagree with one thing. I hate games like that when the Giants are involved in them. If I were watching the Bengals and Ravens on Sunday Night Football, I'd have loved that game. I'd have been nuts over that game. But for me, it was excruciating every step of the way. Just the way the Giants, I think I said it to you guys at halftime. At halftime, if you took the score and everything, turned off the announcers and just took the score off the screen, you would say, hey, this team in blue is kicking the shit out of this white team in white. And I thought that went for most of the game until the fourth quarter when they started just throwing haymakers at each other. But the penalties kept the game close. I think we have the longest opening drive in NFL history now in terms of yards. Even though it only resulted in 3, we got like 200 total gain yards on that drive or some crazy thing. So, yeah, I mean, and you got to, when you're playing the Dallas Cowboys, you got to pack your lunch. You got to understand that that's coming. I don't remember a game without some official controversy against Dallas, going back a long way. So you expect it. All I could do on the opening kickoff was laugh when the flag came down. And then 2 or 3 plays later, when we make a big play and the flag comes down. It's part of playing Dallas. If you're going to beat Dallas, you have to beat them down because the officials will keep them in it. And, it's part of the star on the helmet. Novak and I were talking, before we came on that, look, Dallas got some shit calls their way too.
They did.
I'm not super impressed with that crew at all. That offensive pass interference, I might have ripped my TV off the wall if that got called against us. But, all in all, it's another thing about this game. I thought the defense was playing good. Then you look at the final score and they've given up 40. That was a kind of an odd, it looked most of the day like they were playing very well, creating pressure, creating disruption. But at the end of the day, they give up 40 points. Of course, Russell Wilson, that'll be the best game that he plays for us. That's the best game he's played in 5 years. So there it is. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. We wasted a good effort by the offense. I don't know.
We'll get into some of the penalties, but 23 total flags on the Giants. I think 18 of them were actually enforced. Hudson killed us on that first drive. The slap of the head is uncalled for. Offsides twice, and then on the Wandale catch, he ended up like grounding some guy into the ground, and they called a penalty, which, come on, that happens a lot. I mean, you saw so many different things from the referees there. I'll get into that a little bit later. But it was a frustrating game to watch or listen to, which is what I did. And the defense giving up that final field goal, that's completely on coaching. The usage of dart has to be questioned. Wandale broke out. He had a lot of yards, and finally we're sending people deep, which makes you think maybe he should cut Hyatt. But there was a ton of stuff going on there that though I'll let you guys talk and then I'll come back to it because I have a lot of commentary on this game.
Well, I'm glad you do, Scott, because I don't have a ton of before we came on again. I process it completely differently in a way. While the game's going on, yeah, you're involved in the X and O's, and you're wrapped up in the calls, and you're wrapped up in on both sides of the ball, on what you think they should do next, and what you think should happen next, and what in decision making, and all those things that go in throughout the course of the game. And then when the game it ends the way it does, for me, this is a soul crushing New York Giants loss again. And I go into a state of like depression or something after the game where I can't even function from these losses when you try to make sense of it. Because when you start breaking down the game is one thing, and we're going to do that. But for me, guys, personally, and this is my own personal way I have to handle like these kinds of losses. First of all, let's bring out just some of the numbers. This is the 10th time in 13 seasons where we're starting 0-2. So let's just wrap our heads around the fact that we are 0-2 again. Okay? Let's wrap our heads around the fact that this game in a 40 we lose every way imaginable. We lose the games where we can't score touchdowns and we put up 6 points on the board and we lose the 10-6 games. Now we lose the 40-37 types of games in overtime. Every way imaginable. It doesn't matter who the coordinators are. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Our quarterback, Russell Wilson, that was his career high. All the games he's had in his illustrious career, he threw for 450 yards. We still managed to lose the fucking game. You can throw all the stats you want out there, especially offensively in that kind of game. That was the game I noticed early on. I'm like, oh my gosh, the offensive line has got it today. We have an offensive line today, at least from pass protection. We still had trouble running the ball here and there, right? We were still getting short yards, but throwing the ball, we had deep balls. We were getting the ball to neighbors. Wandale was involved. We had screenplays going. Everything offensively was working. And that was the kind of game like we've been desperately wanting. So the fact I'm gonna give an early peek into my peeve, because my peeve is going to be about the defense, because we'll get to the defense. And again, Mike, your point, we think that this is a top tier defense. I'll get into that a little bit later. I just need to, for our listeners, for you guys, for myself, I need to just express how this is an absolute inexplicable. This game sent me into another dimension of losing that I now am like, I identify as that now. Remember the movie Poltergeist? Like when the mom, Jo Beth Williams, went into the fucking into the other dimension across some who knows, some unearthly universe. And they were like, go into the light, don't go into the light. No one knew what to do. I'm on the other side. I'm in the closet trying to find where I need to go. Cardone, go to the light. I don't remember, like they were like first it was go in the light, then don't. That's me. I'm trapped in this vortex of hell in some dimension that I can't even explain what is in my surroundings anymore. I've gone blind after losses. I've had vertigo. Now I'm in a different dimension, in an inexplicable, uncomprehensible. This is not comprehensible anymore, these losses. No one, I don't know, maybe Novak and the Jets. I do not know who loses these types of games. We lose them all. I kept thinking, and Greg and I were rallying. Of course, we were in therapy for each other today on the phone for like an hour, trying to figure out and comprehend where we go from here. This isn't just about yesterday. This isn't just and the fact that it's the Dallas Cowboys right on top of all of it. This sets a domino effect. You can't go to the game next week. I'm not going to watch any sports talk radio this week. I didn't watch a snap after that field goal went through the uprights yesterday. So that's where I am, guys. I have to that's what my state of mind. Like the football part there's the football part of it, and the game itself on how they lost, but then there's the other part where I cannot. I literally, guys, I mean this. I cannot make sense of why this is continuing to happen to this franchise. It doesn't add up. Just doesn't add up.
It definitely doesn't add up. But the one thing that you hit on is, yes, the Jets always lose, but that's like we lose by 2 scores or we lose by 3 scores and we just lose because we stink. You find the most incredible ways to lose every single week. It's either a 64-yard field goal, or you throw for -7 yards, or you have there's always this miraculous statistic that gets trotted out every time the Giants lose. Every time.
Historical, Novak. We're setting historical, and the NFL's been around since the 20s. Over 100 years. The Giants have existed for 100. This is our 101st season, and we are setting records every year now with some kind of loss. Does anyone around the league realize this? They don't. We do.
They do.
I don't think they do. And to me, watching that game, because I was with a couple of other Giant fans, not you guys this week, and they feel the same way. Like, I think it's all Giant fans are starting to realize, like, we'll screw this up, we'll lose this somehow. I don't know what the hell Dayball's doing. Personally, he lost the game for you. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind with the 2-point or going for the touchdown instead of the field goal.
You bet.
And then this putting Dart in there. What the hell is he doing? What you've got a guy with a career freaking game, probably the best of his 15-year career.
Statistically wise.
Statistically wise, why are you taking him out of the game for some janky RPO read option play? So stupid. And you know why I'm telling you why he's doing it. He's doing it because he's reminding all the fans and the Maras, I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to groom this kid. This is a reminder as to what I'm really here for. I'm not here to just win games. I'm here. This is my safety net, this kid. So don't forget that. This is what's important, is getting this guy ready. I'm telling you. He's a selfish fuck is what he is.
Yeah, man.
Well, what's crazy about Dable here, too, is that, I mean, this game came down to coaching. You know, we taught, you know, you just mentioned that, Novak, about the going for it instead of just kicking the points. Why, if you're going to run the ball on 4th or on 3rd and 3, and you only get to 4th and 2, kick the fucking ball.
Yes.
You know, you take the points, and once you get the points in your favor, the math is in your favor the rest of the game. And then before Aubrey kicked that tying field goal, were playing such a cushion. You have to understand who you're playing against and where they need to go to stop that. So that's part on the defensive coordinator. And then the offensive coordinator, Kafka, I have a problem with him in overtime when we are at a 2nd and 3rd and we've been running the ball on 2nd and 3rd all day long to pick up a first down, and we have Russell Wilson going back and throwing a backwards pass for whatever fucking reason that is. And it's like, just move the fucking sticks. Move the sticks twice and you're in field goal range at that point. And we did these things. We killed ourselves. I'm not even surprised at the end. At the end, I was thinking maybe the Cowboys are going to have to settle for a really long field goal. And no, we ended up having Dak scramble to get with, so it ended up being a 42-yard or whatever it ended up being. But this game was on coaching as much as it was on anything else. Coaching and officiating in these two games really, really tilted the scale.
Well, that and the Cowboys suck. Let's just call it what it is.
The Cowboys defense sucked.
Terrible. How you let neighbors behind you and that spot for that long touchdown pass with double coverage, and he just drops it right in there. He was wide open in a sense.
Yeah.
How they allowed that to happen and they have no pass rush, none.
Yeah, there are a lot of offensive coordinators around the NFC and some in the AFC too who are looking at that tape of Dallas' secondary and salivating.
Oh my God, yes.
Because it could be a long year for Dallas. Of course, they beat us. They'll beat us twice, but whatever.
You know what's pathetic, though, guys? You know what's pathetic is that I am so I don't even know what the word is, just so desensitized or demoralized by this league. Neighbors scores, which was shocking, right? Because I was just like, oh my God, did he hang on? Did he hang on? For a split second, I was like, excited. And then I immediately go to the clock and say, oh shit, 25 seconds.
We're going to overtime.
I thought the same thing.
Yep.
And it's like, again, 25 seconds. And I thought I'm going to get into my peeves, so I'll hold it there. But again, it's amazing. I can't take it. I can't take this league. 25 seconds and the game's, it's not over. It's not over.
The craziest thing about that 25 seconds, Chris, and I'll probably trample on your pet peeve.
No, it doesn't matter, Scott. It doesn't matter.
It's like you sit there and you say to yourself, okay, we've been rushing the passer. We've been pushing Dak at every level. And what do? We drop everyone and their motherfucking back. Why not just play it straight up? If they beat you deep, they beat you deep. They're not going to. Dak's not going to go for a 50-yard bomb. He's going to go to try and get in field goal range. So you have to understand the situation, and that's what that's not what we did.
I said something when they started that drive, and I didn't realize how prophetic it would be, but I said the Giants have to treat this drive like the 50-yard line is the end zone.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how you have to play defense. If they go over top of you, then they go over top of you. I don't think they have the balls to do it. I would have treated that drive like the 50-yard line was the end zone. And, I'll go circle back. This was a shootout, a classic NFL shootout, right? This is the game, back and forth, back and forth. Dable going for that on fourth down is unconscionable in the circuit. And Novak did a great job spelling it out. But I just wanted to put another nail in that coffin. That is unacceptable.
Guys,
to
I
go forward in that situation.
And Mike, it comes after.
I texted this. During that time, I texted this back, and I'm not going to be the old guy saying back in the day, but you never used to take a turnover and come away with no points. That was a cardinal sin.
Still is.
That was a cardinal sin. You take the points. If you get a turnover, it's bonus. Get 3, get 2, get 1, get whatever you can. Just get points.
Yeah, and I mean, in a way, aren't you just saying to your defense, F you. I don't care that you got a turnover. We're going to walk away with nothing.
Yeah.
It's demoralizing, man. It's demoralizing.
And if I have to sit there again, and this might end up being my pet peeve because it sounds like a lot of us are talking about the same thing. So I'll just leave it at this. But if I have to sit through another game and listen to Greg Olson tell me why teams have to go for it on every fucking fourth down in the game, this guy sucks.
And then after the game, you have a bunch of announcers saying he's a great announcer.
He's
not
he's
good.
the worst. I don't know. I get so mad because I'm trampling on a possible pet peeve, so I'll stop right there. But doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
No, it was brutal, guys. That's one of those losses. You chalk it up and you say it's only week 2. Week 2, we're now 0-2 in the division. It's a huge loss. You had. I don't know whether to get into this now or not, but you have George Pickens, who his entire career, he makes by going down the sideline and pulling the defender down, whoever is taking, whoever's covering him, and he ends up getting the PI calls. We had Dak flopping all over the place, getting. We had how many roughing the passer calls? 3 or 4. And
3.
Even when they show the replay, they're like, "Oh, he didn't really put his weight on him."
Oh, he landed on his
called
body.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's called anyway. This kind of shit, just like, I'll get into the officiating later, but the officiating in the NFL right now can't be stellar at all. It's terrible.
There's so many opportunities that you could possibly call a penalty in a game. You can't call 23 on one team.
No,
you can't.
And when you call a penalty on a running play where Tracy gets 24 yards and you call it on the wide receiver, you have to then call it on Dallas when they're holding on at the point of attack on any key running play they have. But you don't.
Well, I always kind of chalk this up. Like, the Giants get a bad roughing the passer called against them. I always think, well, maybe now that they got the boos and they got the, whatever, maybe we'll get some break on the next one. No break on the next one. They even had Mike Pereira or whoever come on and say, guys, this, the Giants defender here did exactly what they asked him to do. Roll to the side as you're taking the quarterback to the ground. I don't know how this is roughing the passer. But it's 23 called penalties, guys. 23.
23.
I think we extended at least 4 Dallas drives with penalties. 2 in one drive. And that's the kind of drive where, they start getting down into the red zone and the announcers are like, what a drive. They didn't do anything. There's 60 yards in penalties on this drive. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm just looking at the box score and just randomly, like, again, what game does the teams? The Giants scored 21 points in the fourth quarter and fucking lost. It's just 3 touchdowns in one quarter, which is impossible in this league because of that fucking running clock that doesn't stop. This team scores 21 points in the fourth quarter on the road at a division, and they lose.
I was watching Good Morning Football today, and Kyle Brandt was doing the game, and he said, guys, there's 1:30 left, and I swear to God to you, there's going to be 2 more scores. Well, actually 3 more scores because Dallas made the touchdown, then Russell came back, threw the touchdown, and then there was a field goal. So
possessions in the NFL are it's like the NBA now. You're trying to just get like the NBA. Oh, I just need to stop. One stop. No. There was just a mid-range jumper. It's like trying to get stops in basketball.
It is
in the NFL now.
That's a great analogy.
It is so true. You're right.
After the I'm looking at the play-by-play. After we got the interception, which we did not cash in a point, of course, then we went out on downs. After that, there were 9 straight scores combined to end the game. 9 straight possessions of scoring up and down. Field goal. It's fucking stupid.
We got to, what we got to do? We got to roll the organ from the Garden over to the Giant Stadium.
Dun, dun,
And when the team crosses midfield, defense, dan, dan, defense, dan, dan.
Well, the thing is, you said about 25 seconds. I think the way this league is going now, you can't have more than 7.
Yeah.
I mean, you really, if you get a score and you were up and you kick the ball off, you better hope there's less than 7 seconds, because you can get the ball to the 35-yard line, make one pass up the middle, and kick a 66-yarder.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 seconds in football. I mean, back in I hate to say it again, back in the day, it was like if you had anything under a minute, you're playing a little bit of a prevent, you were winning that game no problem. You got to guard the sidelines, you let him get him something in the middle of the field.
Not only that, Novak, back then it was a miracle if the team crossed midfield.
Exactly. That's my point. Yes.
I remember Dallas being in the shotgun, and that was, anytime under the 2-minute warning. Well, Dallas is in the shotgun; they have a shot. But it never with 25 seconds left. And we've seen it with the Bills and Chiefs. We've seen it with everyone.
25 seconds in the 80s. Well, you could start taking off your pads on the sideline. That was not changing.
So as much as we've gotten into the Giants and Cowboys, and we'll talk about some of these aspects later, Jets and Bills recap. Justin Fields. And I mentioned this, he was 3 of 8 for 27 yards at one point. He finished 3 of 11 for 27 yards. This is a NFL quarterback, 3 of 11 for 27 yards. And Novak, I got to tell you this. I watched some of the post-game conferences, and Aaron Glenn, he's a lot like Dable. He has to watch the tape.
Damn it! You took my whole thing, because you were gonna. I wanted you to say, "What did you think of the game?" or whatever. And I was okay, Scott. I don't know. I got to watch the tape, because apparently you can't have an opinion on the game unless you've watched tape. So what are you doing during this whole game, AG? You don't remember your quarterback had 27 yards. You're 0 for 11 on 3rd down. You have no pass rush whatsoever. Yeah. You can't tackle Josh Allen. Why do you need to watch tape to give an opinion on why you suck? Because every phase of that team sucked the whole day. They did nothing well. Stupid penalty. He comes in this big bluster, and now I'm going the total opposite direction I was last week. Now I don't like him again, because he's like, I'm this real tough guy, and we're not going to have stupid penalties, and you're not going to play in this team if you're going to lose games. And the first drive of the game, 3rd and 19, we finally stop them, roughing the passer. That guy should be cut tomorrow, and I think he will be, Michael Clemens. And it killed the momentum. They were never in this game. The stadium was half filled with Bills fans. This team, I am so sick of this team. Like, Cardone, I know you're in like another orbit or whatever you are. I hate them. I hate everything about this team. I do. I hate the Jets. God, I mean, every week I got to find a new way to get upset and angry at this team. And I'm a loser again. A loser.
Kid asked me at the end. She asked me about that Jet game. My response, I think you'll like it. I go. Well, Justin Fields returned to being Justin Fields.
That's who he is. We all know it. That's who he is. Anyone that thinks otherwise is wrong. This is who Justin Fields is, and you hope that he's going to have a game like he did against the Steelers, which I think we realize the Steelers are not as good as everyone thought they were, because they just got their ass beat by the Seahawks, and they looked terrible doing it. So. That was a mirage last week. And my bigger issue is, what happened to this great vaunted Jets defense? 68 points in 2 weeks or something like that? Get out of here. So they're a disaster. They play the Buccaneers next week. They're 0-3 guaranteed. They're a 4-win team, and I knew that going into the year. But again, I get my hopes up because they played well last week and think maybe we got something. No, we don't. We suck again.
No.
By the way, guys, I have to interject here, because we're going to talk about the officiating in the NFL in a second. The Houston Texans just returned a punt about 50 yards, and there was a block at the point of attack that looked like it was a block in the back, and they threw a flag for a block in the back. But the officials huddled and determined that, no, it was not a block in the back. So we're
fuck
going to
it.
allow this to
I didn't see what I thought I saw. It's fine.
So now the Texans are in field goal range. They're down 14-13 with 2:28 left, and they probably will kick a winning field goal.
Well, you know what? You know what I got to say to that, honestly?
Not if there's 25 seconds left, Scott, after they kick it.
But honestly, you know what I would say? I don't care. I hate
Yeah.
this league. I hate these
I know.
teams. I hate everything about it. I'm not fun to be around during games and after games. And like officiating sucks. The league sucks. The same teams are good. The same teams are bad.
Yep.
It's the same thing. Rinse, repeat as last year and the year before. Same thing.
I was thinking, can we go back to Fields again? Because I just love murdering this guy. I just do. We remember we threw the statistic out there about how many career games he's had under 100 yards passing.
Yeah,
Well, here's another one. A game he started. He had 27 yards passing. He almost had more. He almost had double the amount of yards rushing. He had not 5 carries for 49 yards. The guy's an RB1, maybe an RB2 actually. He's not even an RB1.
And I don't know if you guys watched the game, but he wasn't just missing.
I saw
receivers.
a little bit with Novak. I was trying to go split screen a little bit, and yeah,
He was throwing them at the feet. He was throwing them 2 yards in front of them. He was throwing it behind them. He is going to get Garrett Wilson killed. He's going to get him killed because what he does is he leads him too much, and Garrett Wilson is going to catch one of these balls or try to, and he's just going to get leveled by someone coming across the field. You got to put it on the numbers, man. You're in the NFL. Like
there was a
it's gotta
drop back.
stop.
I don't remember what part of the game it was, Novak, but there was a early in the game. He drops back. I don't even remember the scenario because I was kind of like flipping back and forth. It was probably like on a giant commercial. And I see Fields go back, and one of these, you know what I'm talking about. He immediately drops back, doesn't see something immediately, and just tucks the ball and looks to run somewhere. Yeah. And I'm just looking at him. I go, look at Fields. Where are you going? Where are you going, Justin? Where?
Yep.
There he
you
goes.
didn't even.
And
he had no intention. He had no intention or desire to throw that football. He drops back and immediately just runs to his left. There wasn't even pressure. Pressure was coming from nowhere. I love that one, the old scene ghost, right? He coming up to me and he just tucks the ball and runs. Where are you going, Justin? I think it was like third down too. Third and like long. I go, well, where are you going, dude?
Yeah, I think he's so screwed up in the head now too because I think everyone got in his head that he only looks at his first read. So now he doesn't look at his first read more than a split second. And if the play hasn't developed, then he just goes to the second read. And the first one is like, I'm wide open. It happened at least 5 times. So I think he's so screwed up. He has no accuracy. He doesn't know what he's doing. Just get him. I don't want to say I don't want anyone to ever have a concussion, but I want Tyrod Taylor playing this weekend. I really do. I think we got a better chance to win.
There's no question you have a better chance to win. And I guess you kind of answered it at the beginning there, Novak, but what happened? I mean, he is just the Steelers are just not very good. Is that because I don't even think there was nothing fluky or nothing lucky about Fields in week 1. He made every right decision to me.
I think obviously the Bills watched the tape because apparently you have to watch the tape to get anything.
Fair.
So they were kind of pinching him a little bit, so he couldn't get out of the pocket, which is what he was doing in Pittsburgh. So he couldn't go left or right, but he's not a four-step drop, and throw it kind of player. That's not who he is. And they planned for that, so he wasn't. And then finally in the second half, he started running because he wasn't running. And he started doing that, and then they started to do a little something. There was one of those. There he goes. Jim Nantz did it. There he goes. But it was kind of that. It's just, I think the Bills are just, look, and again, we've talked about this before. You watch a team like the Bills, and you think, my God, how far behind are we from this
Not in the
team?
same league.
And Josh Allen didn't even play that well. And we are so far behind that team. That game should have been 50-3. It really should have been, but they kind of let off the gas a little bit at the end. What a
They're not in the same
disaster.
league.
They're not in the same league. They're not.
No. You watch like you said, the Bills cannot. They don't have to even play their best game, and they're demolishing another division opponent on the road. Think about all that. Like the Jets, it's a division opponent on the road. Those things are facts.
100%.
And you just demolish the team, but it was never a game.
Never. After the
No.
second drive, I knew the game was over.
Like Novak, do you like when that game starts? Are you even sniffing the idea that the Jets like, oh, we're gonna be in this game. We got a chance. I mean, a little maybe like before when it starts, but then as soon as the Bills start to take control, game's over.
It's Cardone. I think what it is you kind of try to convince yourself.
Yeah.
And then 2 minutes in, it's like a light
compete.
bulb goes up, and you're like, wait a minute, this is the Jets. Who was I? Who am I to think they have a chance?
Yeah.
Get out of here, Novak.
You get out there with your chance, and you watch the other team's execution and blocking and all that, and you're like, we're not gonna win this.
No, and then you're just defeated the whole time.
We are a peewee team compared to these guys.
I actually didn't even. I watched the second half on my phone. Was at my neighbor's house watching the Giants game because that was actually exciting. So that's why I had a better take in the Giants. I got to watch the tape though. So
go to the tape.
I got to watch the tape.
So guys, looking around the league, I mean, Daniel Jones in Indy. So the Colts are the first team since the Super Bowl era to not punt in the first 2 weeks of a season. Who would have ever thought that a Daniel Jones team would be one where they don't punt for the first 2 weeks of a season?
Yep.
No.
And I'll tell you something on this one, guys. I've got receipts on this. Everyone owes this kid an apology.
Yep.
Everyone. Not just Giants fans, which they sure as hell do owe him an apology. Everyone. The fans who said that the Colts signing him was proof they were trying to tank for Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Those dirtbags. Everyone owes Daniel Jones an apology. He's not great. He's not a superstar. He's not going to lead the Colts to the Super Bowl. But he's a NFL fucking quarterback.
Yep.
Is what he is. And he's not garbage. And he's not, first of all, just kind of going back in my time machine a little bit, if you watch the Giants play and Daniel Jones was playing and then he got hurt and then you saw what happened after he got hurt, how you could blame everything on Daniel Jones in the first place just always drove me nuts. Like, it became clear after he got hurt that he was dragging this dead team to 2 or 3 wins a year, and it was more than anyone else could expect from. So I will leave my soapbox right there on Daniel Jones, but I don't even think I can think of a player who got more wronged than Daniel Jones had at the beginning of his career. I hope he goes out and just has a great career. Good for him.
That's one of those things too, where I hope Jones is the guy, but I'll tell you this about this game. What didn't stand out about me was Jones as much as the end of that game. The Colts tried a 60-yard field goal to win it, and they missed it like most people do in the 60-yarders. Yeah, like you're supposed to.
Yeah, 60 yards.
And the refs called leverage on Denver. That was an actual incorrect interpretation of leverage. Now, I've talked to you guys before about the Giants and the 49ers game. Hey, we should protest this game. You know, I ranted and raved about that game and the playoff game. This is actually one where the Colts could or the Denver could actually petition the league and protest this game because they did not apply the rule correctly to leverage. And so when people say refs don't decide games, they do.
Oh,
they decide this game. They decided this game.
In that one.
They decide them all the time.
They do.
Yeah.
You know, I can say on your take, which is Mike is spot on about Daniel Jones, I can think of one other player that has been wronged as much, and that's Jared Goff.
Jared Goff's a good one.
Good example. Yeah.
Only because he played well and got him to a Super Bowl, and they kicked him to the curb.
Yeah.
And look what he's done now, right? And he's showing them now. So I
maybe
would say
maybe Baker too.
Baker's up there. Absolutely.
Baker got seriously wronged by Cleveland.
To be wronged by Cleveland, who the hell? He should be happy. Yeah. That dumpster fire. I mean, good God. I mean, I think if you're going to talk about around the league, Scott, I think it's very clear. Yet again, we have the haves and the have-nots again, right? You've got the same 5 or 6 teams that are going to be good. Maybe I'd put the the Chargers in there. I don't know. And then there's a lot of bad football and a lot of bad teams right now. I mean, you can tell after 2 weeks.
Well,
and the other thing
especially when you steal victories from them. Sure. Ask the
that's
Jaguars
true.
today. Let's talk about that one too.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt you now, Novak.
Well,
No,
the
yeah, please.
Jaguars a good one because the Jaguars went for it on 4th and 5. 4th and 5 with a 3-point lead. And the asshole coach, the Duval guy, he actually said, looking at that's 100% a go. 100% a go every time. 4th and 5 with a 3-point lead, you are always going to say that's always a go? Fuck you. If you're looking at analytics that much and you're a coach saying that, you should be fired on the spot because there's never a time that anything should ever be 100%. It should be about the game situation and what you're seeing.
Yeah,
it's true.
If my head coach, if I'm an owner and my head coach says that, I am extremely concerned. I'm like, so you're not using your guts or your mind or anything you've learned coaching football these years. You're not using any of that to coach my team. You're looking at a book. Go. I can do that. If that's the job, let me do it. I can look at a book.
Can you say Duval better than him?
I can.
Anybody can. A dog could. Exactly, Mike. Why not just have a fucking robot with a headset on the sidelines?
What's the IBM computer's name?
ChatGPT.
Watson?
Yeah.
Oh, Watson.
Will Watson out there, let him coach a team.
Type it into Grok. What?
I talk about that. We talk about this all the time. The coaching, the instincts, the gut feeling, the feel for game. Not only every game different, every drive is different in many ways.
Yeah.
Based on again the situational football along the course of a game.
Yeah,
the biggest thing about it's especially like I always compare it to like Aaron Boone and take any manager in baseball. Like you have to manage. There's a process. There's instincts. There's a human element, and these. For a head coach in the NFL to say like to your point, Scott, like give no thought, like, well, that's 4th. So okay, Liam or whatever the fuck the guy's name is. The next time I see 4th and 5, you better be going for it, asshole. I'll tell you that because I know you better live up to your word. Because we'll remember the Angry Football our podcast. We'll remember that quote. A lot of people won't. We'll remember it.
Oh yeah, it's there's so many things that factor in. Maybe your offensive line is gassed. Maybe the running back you'd want in there to do it is getting his knee retaped on the bench. Maybe you haven't been able to gain a yard on the ground all day. It's just you cannot just say that's 100%. And guys, what kind of scares me? I think Dable is the same guy.
Yeah.
I think Dable's the same guy. I think I'm going to the book, and if the book says go. And so I've spewed this out before. I think I took a break on it last year, but I'll bring it up again. What analytics is based on something called game theory, which I've looked at a lot. I've actually have some books on it that I've read. And game theory is the idea that if you do exactly the right thing that statistically you should do every time, in the long run, you'll come out ahead. That's essentially what game theory is. So analytics is based on game theory. It's a 17-game season, and you can't afford to lose 2 of them. Sometimes analytics doesn't work in the NFL. I know coaches love it. The media loves it because they think it makes the game more exciting. Coaches love it because it lets them off the hook, just like this Jacksonville coach. I don't have to defend that. It's in the book. Your problem's with the book, not with me.
It's 100% no go. It's 100% go.
It's ridiculous.
You can never convince me. I don't care what that not taking points is the best decision all the time. It's not. It's I mean, or maybe what do I fucking know? Because now I was just saying 10 minutes ago about how you can't stop anybody in this league anymore. So maybe it's just like fuck it, we'll just score in the next possession. What's the big deal? Like just. Or you could also go with, well, Cardone, wait a minute, there's a running clock, so you're only going to have so many – oh, right. The clock never stops running in this league. It's like fucking peewee football. So, let me get my 3 points now. I will take the 3 points.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to tell you something crazy, and people have talked to me about this before. I was at a poker tournament one time. I was on the bubble, and we were like 2 people away from making the money. and I was dealt pocket kings, and the guy in front of me went all in. I folded. Turned out he had aces. I didn't know if he had aces or not. But the thing is, why risk the entire thing that I have done for that entire tournament to end up being out of the money when I could make the money just by sitting there and wait a couple of
Scott,
hands.
Wonderful example. A perfect example, because game theory would tell you to call that.
Exactly.
With two kings. Yeah. But you used your gut. You use the game situation. I'm two people away from the bubble. You know, even if he has like an ace-jack, he flops an ace, I'm out of this. Yeah. So great no call. But I would have called the hell out of that. Great job by you. But yeah, it's a great example of what we're talking about. Perfect.
And guys, one of the other things that's come up this week, and we saw it, and I actually went back, and there's someone else that did this too, the tush push. So we saw the tush push where I think someone pointed out against the Chiefs, like 4 out of the 7 tush pushes, they were false starting. Regardless of what happens, the best thing that could happen to us as an NFL is that this happened against the Chiefs. Someone went back and watched all the tush pushes in the last year and said that over 60% of them had some infraction, whether it's the center that's over the ball, like so you can't see it, the guards firing out early, the tackles firing out early, whatever it is. This is what's wrong with tush push. If any of our teams run these plays, we get called for fouls. Somehow, some way, the NFL does not hold the Eagles responsible for what they're doing.
I just think because they do it really well.
No, I think it's because it's called the tush push. If it wasn't
like
a
marketing
name,
thing,
and if it wasn't an Eagle thing, these guys would be all over this shit. You know, if the Giants tried this and we had a ragtag bunch of people at 2 and 12 trying to move the sticks, they'd be like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah. Well, I do know in the Eagle Chief game they were offsides on the one tush push. If you saw that, both guards
moved early.
Moved early. But did they call that? No, of course not.
No, it's a tush push.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be like calling a foul on the Globetrotters, Scott.
Guys, on the very last tush push that they did, I think the Chiefs took the ball away from Hurts, and they said they reviewed it, but that review must have been the shortest review in the history of NFL review. So all the Chiefs players were pointing this way, and yet you had them just automatically say first down.
Yeah, no, there's going to be no turnover here.
Listen to us.
Listen to us down, everyone.
saying that the refs were cheating the Chiefs.
Well, we were actually saying this last year though, that the tush push had a lot of inconsistencies in the way it was enforced.
It does, and there's no doubt about that. And the center lines up with his head way over the ball, which even before the ball snapped is an infraction. Safety for the center, by the way, is the reason for that. But they do it really well. Everyone moves at the same time, or not at the same time. It almost they flow it out. I mean, it is a work of art when they do it. That's all illegal, but the way they do it is just makes it very difficult to call. And then you've got, 6'1", 225-pound guy who can bench press 800 pounds, who pushing the ball forward. It's the perfect formula.
Honestly, the tush push thing doesn't bother me as much as these PI calls. Cardone, you want to get into the Travis Hunter one?
Let's do it. Yeah.
I mean,
that was pretty bad.
What's your take? Because I think it was the worst PI call I've probably ever seen.
It's devastating. It is. I've watched that play a number of times now, and Hunter does absolutely perfect coverage. He's got perfect coverage inside the man. He gets his head around in enough time, fully extends his inside arm, his left hand, bats the ball away. His right hand is nowhere really. It's not wrapped around the receiver. He's not extending his right arm. He's not pushing the receiver. Absolute perfect, just a simple incomplete pass in the NFL, and they won't allow it. They just won't allow it. Maybe because it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, and because I don't know. I just don't understand how those are the kinds of plays where I would love, and this will never happen, but we've talked about it here on our pod. I would love the idea of that being a challengeable penalty and say, I'm going to challenge that. Let's go to the – but, of course, it's always going to be subjective. You can't have enough people – there's going to be probably people on both sides of that call. But tell me what you guys thought. I mean, what part – okay, let me ask it this way. What part of that defended ball was interference? What part of it? His right hand, his left – which part?
Cardone, I agree with you, but I also agree. This goes back to the comment I made about George Pickens earlier. There were two pass interferences called on George Pickens earlier in the game, where the defender was doing the same thing. He's running stride for stride for him. Pickens is pushing him. The defender's pushing him. It's got to be either a no call or it has to be a double call. Neither of those happened. Now to Novak's point earlier, Pickens got called for an offensive pass interference that was ridiculous, but that doesn't wipe out the three other calls that happened where he was called for it. Travis Hunter played that ball just like the Giants did against Pickens, and what ended up happening is that the receiver ended up looking like he was being pushed by Hunter when Hunter was actually looking for the ball and he actually deflected the ball. He deflected the ball.
I think honestly it was bad position by the official, because I guess if you could look at it from one side, Scott's right. It looks like maybe he was pushed and they probably just assumed and threw the flag. That would be my only guess as to how you could ever think that was pass interference. But
I'm just seeing it for the first time here. I'm just watching it. It's perfect defense.
Right.
That's great.
It's fourth down. The game, I don't remember. I don't remember how many timeouts Cincinnati had at that point. Do you guys remember?
Mike, the big thing there is it's fourth down.
It's a turnover on downs, right there.
Yeah, and I think I don't know how to fix pass interference. We tried to make it reviewable, and the officials revolted and refused to overturn one, so that went away quick. All I can say is there really needs to be more of an emphasis on two things. Did the defender have his head turned around?
Mm-hmm.
And did the defender contact the ball with his, defending hand? If you say that it can't be pass interference if the defender's looking back or if the defender bats the ball, he has as much right to that ball as anybody. So if he gets his hand on it, I'm sure someone could come up with immediately an example where you could be looking back and bat the ball and horribly interfere with somebody, but I don't know what else to do with it.
Well, there was someone today, a defender, talking about how unfair the rules are against defenders. I mean, you think about all the leeway we give to the offense, and it's not just on the pass interference calls. It's illegal contact. It's anything that happens with the defense. And at some point, you have to either give the defense something back, or you have to say to yourself, we're going to allow 100 to 150 yards or 100 point games.
I just want to be able to watch a game just once. Just give me one game, NFL. We're at the Jets, if they ever did make a big third down stop, I'm not looking for that little freaking yellow little thing that pops up on screen. Yeah. Just once. And the players do it too. They don't even like, congratulate each other anymore. They're looking around, making sure there's no flag.
I know.
Every time.
Guys, which part? We talked about the Giant penalties. That one play down at the goal line where there were 4 penalties called, 3 of them against the Giants. First off, 2 of the calls against the Giants are bullshit. So they called roughing the passer on a play where Dak just flops. They call pass interference against the Giants where the guy did pass interference, Lamb, and then you had Lamb doing whatever he did to the guy that ended up getting taunting. But there were 4 penalties on a play. The only legitimate one was that the Giants were offsides on the play.
There should have been 5 penalties on that play. One of our defensive linemen was tackled to the ground. I can't remember who it was, but Olsen and what's his name mentioned it. There should have been actually 5 penalties on one play. what my favorite thing about that play is, I was thinking, because don't forget that was then, so everything's offsets, right? There's 4 fucking penalties, 3 of them on us, right? I'm trying to remember, and somehow and Dallas. So the next play, I'm thinking like it's either 3 or 7, 3, and that was 3rd and goal, I think, right from that. And then he scored on the next play. Dallas scores a touchdown next play. I'm thinking like, of course they get the touchdown there. Flip the whole thing. Are we scoring that after? No, we're not. No. Are we scoring? Like, think about this. Like, imagine if you flip the whole thing. Like, Dallas commits 3 penalties on one play. And Neighbors gets caught for some taunting bullshit to offset the whole thing. Like, what are you doing, you asshole? We had it for, and then don't calm down, everyone. We're going to score on the next play. Don't worry, Malik. You're fine. We got you. We'll pick you up. No, that's what I was laughing about. I forgot about the play. Because the next play, Dallas is in the end zone. Cheerleaders are going. Doesn't matter. Fuck, man.
Also looking around the league, I had to love this. The Lions just threw a 50 spot on Ben Johnson.
How great was that?
Yep. After people talking about Ben Johnson being the genius, Ben Johnson this, Goff can't do anything without Johnson. Fuck you.
It was very satisfying.
That was a highlight of the weekend for sure. I loved every minute of
that. And then we also saw, look, this came out before the game. Schefter reported, and guys, he's staying somehow he's staying in the limelight every fucking week. Schefter reported that Shedeur Sanders said he would not go to the Ravens because Lamar Jackson was there, and that he would not want to go to a place that had an established starter. So you have a 5th round pick telling teams what he wants to do.
Get out of here with that.
Why not?
Now, what I heard, and this is even worse, is that people were saying, well, maybe the Browns leaked this to make Shedeur look bad. Why would the Browns leak something like that? Like there's so many people out there wanting the Browns to sabotage this guy. Yeah. The Browns picked him. Why would you sabotage your own pick?
What? They waited to the 5th round to sabotage them?
Yeah.
They could have had him in the 4th.
They're playing the long game. Yep. Yeah. I love the idea that somehow the Browns are holding him down or sabotaging his career.
That's right.
Imagine the Browns like behind the scenes at the draft in the war room. All right, get the leak out. We're in the 5th round. Come on. Stupid.
That's what's crazy is that the Browns, who are, maybe an inept franchise, but they're picking a guy, and all of a sudden the chatter's about them like trying to torpedo his career. Why would any team torpedo a draft pick's career?
It's extremely comical. It's very funny if you think about it. I mean, it really is quite humorous that they would, they drafted him just to make sure he never plays in the NFL. Yes.
So I know we'll get to this in our predictions, but guys, Giants play the Chiefs this week, which means the Chiefs are definitely not going 0-3. There's no way the league's going to allow the Chiefs to go 0-3. And there's probably going to be a ton. I'm calling it right now. There is going to be several calls that will shift this game in the Chiefs' direction, and I'm laughing about it now. During the game, I'm going to be pissed as hell, but I know that it's coming. I absolutely know it's coming. The Chiefs are not a great team, but somehow the NFL's not going to let them go 0-3.
No way.
No, there's no way.
You have no chance.
And what will happen, the Giants will get called for like 8 penalties, and the whole talk will be about the Giants, this team, undisciplined.
They lack discipline.
They lack discipline.
They lack a lot of shit. I don't know, man.
You guys have anything about the Chiefs preview?
Just no, man. Just what you said. I when we go to predictions, whatever, I said I was easily just going to mention who do you think's going 0-3? The Kansas City Chiefs or the New York Giants? It's not the Chiefs. It doesn't matter the score. Like, it doesn't matter that game. And this is what I was talking about by soul crushing last week, because now it's just it's over to try to now ourselves rally and rise up and watch that game with a fervor and excitement, I will sit there like a fucking corpse watching that game. I will.
Sunday night, by the way.
Exactly. Painful to sit around all day. I don't even want to watch any of the games during the day. I'm gonna have to pick up gardening or something on Sunday. I'm gonna go to Home Depot and just walk up and down the aisles for 8 hours,
Do some
pretending to fucking pick out like flowers and pots and shit. Because I can't watch NFL football. I can't.
Well, when you look about this, so the Jets play the Buccaneers. Buccaneers just pulled out a win against the Texans. So this is in Tampa Bay. This becomes a must-win for the Jets.
Why? Must win so they can get to 3? I mean, no. I mean, they have no chance of winning this game. But you know what the funny thing is? Listen to the crap games I'm going to have to watch for the rest of the year. Buccaneers, Dolphins, Cowboys, Panthers, Bengals without Burrow, Browns, Patriots, Falcons, Dolphins, Jaguars, Saints. That's the Jets schedule.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine the? I mean, I obviously I skipped over 2 good teams because it didn't make it as funny. But listen to those games I've got to sit through.
Oh my God, Novak, that is disgusting.
Disgusting. Can you imagine? I'm going to sit there in December. Jets, Saints. Are you kidding me? God. Anyway, so no, they're going to get their ass beat. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I'm not even going to talk. We got more stuff to get into.
By the way, crack statistician Greg just sent this in, which is hilarious. So Tampa, we're dying for one fucking 2-0 start. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers quietly and under the radar, they have started 2-0 for 5 straight seasons. 5 straight seasons.
Jeez.
Imagine, I would take 1.
So I heard that. That was right.
I would take 1 and 1.
Right before I came upstairs, they were saying that, and it just really made me think. Do you realize how much the NFL schedule makers have to do with how you start a season?
Exactly, Mike.
I mean, Tampa Bay's been okay over the last 5 years. They've been on the better side of
better than good, yeah, better than average, rather, whatever, yeah.
But 5 straight years of 2-0. Come on,
5 straight.
Who have they played?
Well,
I mean, I'm sure we could look it up, but it's.
I may have.
They're not out there going.
I tell you what,
back.
They're not starting They're not starting week 1 and 2 at fucking division road opponents. I'll tell you that.
Well, in that division, maybe they are.
That division soft, yeah. At Carolina, at New Orleans, yeah. I guess you could do that. Guarantee one of them's at home though. People aren't starting. No one starts 2 weeks on the road in the division.
No, you don't do that. That's
and then comes home in prime time against the
Chiefs. And comes home to a dynasty.
Yeah.
Playing against a dynasty.
Oh, that's funny.
Perfect, man.
It's impossible.
So, guys, I'm gonna move to pet peeves. Novak, pet peeve.
Oh, so I have 3 very fast ones, and I'm calling them stop it pet peeves.
Actually, by the way, before we go to pet peeves, let's do our predictions because we normally do predictions before then.
All right,
that's
right. We do.
I am ready for predictions.
Who's up first?
What's our records, Mike?
We technically did it in the wrong order last week, right? Because the people in the lead should start, so that gives the people behind a chance to catch them if they want to pick something different. So, Mike and Cardone are each 8-0. We all hit Dallas and the Bills last week, and then you 3 hit Baltimore and I hit Dallas, so we all had a perfect week. Man, I really thought when that game was winding down, I said I did it. I bought a win. I predicted Dallas as my lock, and I bought myself a win for the Giants. And couldn't have that. No, never mind. So it's Mike and Cardone 8-0, Cost and Novak 7-1, and I will start off. I haven't looked at my lock yet, but all right. So Kansas City at the Giants, guys. I'm very tempted to pick the Giants here. I really am. I like a lot of things that they did last week. This is something Cardone and I have been begging for years, but we had receivers catching the ball on the run last week, running forward. There's none of this 5 yards and turn around and wait for the ball with your back to the defense. And, kind of like Justin Fields went from, oh my gosh, something brand new to old Justin Fields from week 1 to week 2. I'm not expecting that to happen again. The Giants will go back to the Giants. on offense. They'll come up with some low point total here. So I'm going to pick Kansas City 21-11. Why not? Kansas City by 10. Jets in Tampa Bay, I just kind of said Tampa Bay's been on the better side of the 500 line for a lot of years. They're a team that's, they're a team I'd love for the Giants to be at this point, really, just a team who competes every year. Of course, it's a little bit easier when you're in that division, but the Jets with Fields, and if Fields, you're kind of wondering now what Fields you're going to get, right? But I have to assume I'm going to get the Fields I've seen for the first 200 games, and not the one.
Well, you might get Tyrod Taylor, don't forget.
Or Tyrod Taylor might actually change my pick, but I think Tampa Bay wins this one. I'm going to say 31-14. And then my lock, I might have to come back to. I'm going to say Kansas City's my lock, but I might change that before the end.
Trying to buy a win again.
I'm going to look at the list while you guys are picking. All right, so Cardone, you're up.
I will go. I'll make these quick. I'll start with the Jets. Actually, they're not beating. They're not winning in Tampa. They're just not. Tampa's a better team. A lot of teams are better than the Jets. I don't have this. I have it as a somewhat close game. Not terribly high scoring. I've got Tampa 23-16. So they win by a touchdown. I have a feeling it's gonna be kind of like a little bit of a boring game there, but Tampa wins that. And then Met Death. We've already talked about this. As soon as Kansas City lost late yesterday, I said, well, they're not starting 0-3. It's going to be us. We're going to go back to our Met Death ways. We're not going to see 450 yards passing from Wilson. We're going to go back to the offense. We're going to go back to Russell Wilson running for his life. For whatever reason, we do not. And it's a primetime game. We know our record in primetime. We know our record at Met Death. We're facing the Swifties. This is somehow the Giants keep it close, but it's going to be another just torturous, painful night. I got Kansas City 30-20. So I think I have them losing by 10 too, Mike. Yep. 10 as well. And then my lock, I was bouncing around a little bit, but I settled on give me the Seahawks over the Saints.
That's the other one that I was looking at.
Yeah. That play. That's a tough place. That's a tough home field. New Orleans going up there. New Orleans has nothing. Seattle's coming off their first win at home. Give me Seattle.
I'm up. I'll go. I'll start with the Giants. I think this is the get-right game for the Chiefs. I think you got Taylor Swift in New York and primetime and the whole thing. NFL is foaming at the mouth over this game. I got the Chiefs here 37-10. With the Jets, I think they'll actually play them a little bit better if Tyrod Taylor plays. I'm still going to take the Bucs, though, at home in a close one, 21-16. For my lock, I'm going to take who I think is the best team in the NFL right now and against the worst team in the NFL, and I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers over the Cleveland Browns.
I was looking at that one too. That was one of mine. I had a couple in mind. That was one. Yeah.
I also was looking at the Packers too, but for the Giants Chiefs, I think you guys summed it up. Look, we're going to be subject to several bad calls in this game. We're not going to win no matter what we do. And because of that, I think the Chiefs win going away. I think the Chiefs win, 27-14.
Yep.
And for the Jets, I think the Jets have a chance against Tampa Bay. I'm not bought into Tampa Bay, but the thing is, in Tampa Bay, the way Fields is played, I have to go with Tampa Bay. So I'm going to go 24-17. And then my lock is actually the Bills against the Dolphins. Did looked against the Browns because that's an easy one, but
So we picked 4 different locks, which means 4 really shitty games.
So I'm going to go ahead and keep mine then, because I think that's cool that we have 4 different ones, because as I went through the list, Seattle, Green Bay, and Buffalo were the other ones that jumped out at me. So I'll go ahead.
Novak, you talked about shitty games. I mean, let's look at some of these games we got. So Thursday's Miami at Buffalo.
Terrible.
Division game, but it's lopsided. Sunday, you have Green Bay at Cleveland.
Off the road.
Indianapolis at Tennessee, which is one of
Hey,
five
they're
times
playing
they
again.
play.
Indy, Tennessee this week, everybody.
It's one of 5 times
Every
they
week
play.
there's an AFC South head-to-head matchup. Every week. How can that be?
You got Cincinnati at Minnesota. Burrow's
Oh,
gone.
Burrow again.
McCarthy might be
McCarthy.
hurt.
No, he is out 2 to 4 weeks. They just said. So yeah,
Pittsburgh at New England.
awful.
The Rams at Philadelphia.
That's okay. That's
That's
good game,
good.
actually. That's a good one.
The Jets at Tampa Bay.
Terrible.
Vegas at Washington. Not a great game.
Not a great game, no.
Atlanta at
Just who cares,
Carolina.
right?
Terrible. God, terrible.
Houston at Jacksonville. Another
Hey,
one of
they're
those.
playing again.
God,
Yeah,
that AFC
the
South.
games. Denver at LA. The Chargers.
That's a good one.
New Orleans
Yeah.
at Seattle.
Terrible.
Gross.
Dallas at Chicago.
Yeah.
Even more gross.
That game's interesting to me.
But people
I don't
don't
know if
care
it's-
about it, you know? It's
Yeah,
one of
no,
those
no one
things,
gives
yeah.
a shit about it, but it's interesting to me.
Dallas will win, by the way. They'll go 2-1.
You got Arizona at San Fran.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Kansas City at the Giants. And
Ugh.
Detroit at Baltimore. Or
Yeah,
not
that's a good
Detroit.
one. That's a
yeah,
really
good
Detroit,
one.
Baltimore.
That's a good one. Yeah. So 4
So-
good games.
The Giants are only 5.5-point underdogs.
I don't
Doesn't
know
smell
how.
right.
Does not. Something's not right there.
One thing I did not mention on the around the NFL was a report that Adam Scheffler put out about Shedeur Sanders prior to the game against the Ravens, saying that Shedeur would not play for the Ravens. Did I talk about this?
You already
did.
got it.
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
you-
All right,
we
all
got
right,
that.
Covered it.
All right, so all right.
Well, you said it was Adam Scheffler, so maybe it's Scotty's brother. Then maybe
No,
it's a different one.
No, that's good if I already mentioned that.
Pet peeves.
Yeah, so pet peeves. We'll go with Mikey.
All right, good. I get on a week. I think we all might cross over each other a little bit. I get to go first.
Mine's definitely not going to be one of you guys. I know that.
I'm not.
So my pet peeve is again, I'm going to go the NFL gaslighting route, and my target this week will be the kickoff rule, which I believe we've had several pet peeves about before, but I've got some data here you guys might find interesting. I did a little bit of research this week. So in 2024 is when they switched to this goofy XFL kickoff rule that they've got. The NFL, I don't know if you guys remember, claimed that this was a huge success, a big success. Actually, there was a slight uptick in injuries on kickoffs, but the NFL only measures concussions. So when the NFL tells you that they're getting more returns this year and getting more returns and less injuries, that's gaslighting. It's roughly the same amount of injuries. It just is sort of like a different type this year. They're only talking about head injuries. And I don't know how, we've been over this. I don't know how stupid the NFL thinks we are. We're returning like 80% of kickoffs now.
Mhm.
And the NFL is telling us that the injuries are less. I mean, just do the math. Do the math in your head. It's impossible. There's some other great numbers here. The NFL only is counting head injury metrics. The whole idea of calling this kickoff thing because they sold it to us as a safety change, but then the very next year they changed it a little bit and they said, no, we want no more returns. You can't have both.
Can't.
The NFL cannot have both.
No.
If you go back over, I went through the evolution of the kickoff rules first, right? So, first of all, how awesome does this sound? From 1960 to 73, the kickoffs were from the 40-yard line, and the coverage players had a running start from as far back as they wanted. Now, that is a kickoff I can get into. Of course, with today's kickers, you can't kick off from the 40, but
They'd hit them in their stadium.
yeah. But they just kept the NFL in 2011 was the first time they had a safety-driven change, and that's where they moved it to the 35 to get more touchbacks. So they were purposely limiting the amount of returns understanding in 2011 that, hey, here's how we get rid of CTEs and concussions from kickoffs. We just make 80% of them be touchbacks. That was their decision, right? Their decision was the answer to this is less returns. Now they come back a few years later and they're telling us, oh, by the way, our new decision is safety and way more returns than ever before. So it's gaslighting. It's bullshit. The NFL. But by the way, we all know, right? How many times on the opening kickoff or on any kickoff is there an injury?
Never.
Do you ever? I mean, I think I saw one this year.
No.
Someone might pull a hammy. That's about it.
Yeah, they've they have a safety. Well, they think they have a safety problem. I personally don't think they do, but they address it on kickoffs where outside of Jason Sehorn, no one can even remember an injury on a kickoff. So more bullshit, more gaslighting from the NFL. Don't go for it. Don't buy it. Everything they do is for money. They say they want to shorten the games, but as we talked about before, games have always been around 3 hours. They want to shorten the game time so they get more ads in their 3-hour window, which they know they're going to have. It's all a lie, and we need to wake up.
Yep. Yeah, agreed.
Good one, Mikey. So I'll go next. I was on the way back from Edisto Island on Sunday, and first off, I this is a pet peeve of myself. I didn't realize the game was at 1. I thought, they're playing in Dallas. It's going to be a 4:25 game. It wasn't. It was at 1.
The schedule came out in May, Scott.
I do not look at the times thinking that what? We're in fucking Dallas. Is Dallas really going to play at noon? Well, they did. So, of course, I'm driving back. I'm listening on Sirius XM, and so I'm listening to the local team from Dallas. And I had to look this up. It's Brad Sham is the guy's name. Brad Sham. And Sham is a good name for that. And Babe Laufenberg.
The Babe.
So they kept calling Gillen, the punter for us, a sidewinding Aussie every time he was back to punt. He's fucking Scottish. He's a Scottish hammer.
How about calling him the worst punter in the NFL? I would take that. That's more accurate.
So why are we calling him a sidewinding Aussie? He's not even a fucking Australian. They did this. You'd think Darren, we have Darren on our payroll. You'd think Darren would tell them, guys, come on. You got to do better.
Brutal.
They said the Giants' D was terrible at the outset, which they're probably right. But then they spent the whole first half just talking about how frustrating it was that Dallas was not scoring against this terrible defense that was there. So my pet peeve here is just with local broadcasts. They wanted to know how 3 penalties can offset 1. We talked about this earlier. How can 3 penalties offset 1? It's because that's in the rules. If you have 3 penalties and 1 happens on the offense, it's fucking offsetting.
Does he want us to take the difference, like in fucking cornhole scoring? Like, what do you want to take? You had 2 on, 1 in. I had, like, what should we do?
Add up all the yards and subtract
all the yards, and then, like, after we did some addition and subtraction, Cowboys are awarded 5 yards. What do you want to do?
No, so that happened, but the worst part for me was you never knew what was actually happening. You're listening to the radio. So on the radio, you don't have eyes. So the whole first half, I'm watching or listening. And so think about the one the on the first drive that happened, the Wandale pass. They go, oh, it's a pass to Robinson. Oh, he caught it at 20. Silence. And then they go, well, there's a penalty of Hudson. So, Robinson got down to the 1, but there's going to be a penalty. This will bring this back to the 16 or whatever it was. You never knew what the fuck was going on. It's like, guys, I'm blind here. I can't see what's going on. And you're telling me Robinson caught it at 20. I thought he was down at the 20. And then a little bit later on, they go, Scannabo. Oh, he carries 4 guys. Oh, my God, this guy, he's a monster. He's rushing to a first down. It was 2nd and 8. So I know these kind of things happen, but we're Giant fans. We listen to Bob Papa and Carl Banks. they're at least telling you what the fuck is going on during these games.
We've got another level of
Professionals.
excellence. Yeah.
Actual professionals.
So Brad Sham, Babe Laufenberg, fuck
Terrible. That's right.
you. Really?
Am I up?
You're up.
All right, I got 3 quick ones, and it's on awful announcing stuff too. Quick ones: Clemson, Georgia Tech, middle of the 3rd quarter. Lewis Riddick and Bob Wischusen. Lewis Riddick says on a random 3rd down halfway through the 3rd quarter, "This is why you spend all of summer in heat working and preparing and going through these tough camps and everything else." What, for a 3rd down in game 3 in the middle of the 3rd quarter? You out of your mind? Stop it. That's not Dabo Sweeney yelling at the team going, "This will all make sense on week 3, fellas, in the 3rd quarter." Get out of here with that. The second one is, my favorite, Wolfson. I mean, I texted you guys about this. Josh Allen goes out with a broken nose. The whole world can see what happens, right? He goes back into the huddle, and they go, Jim Nantz, "Tracy, down to you for a sideline report." Jim, so the Bills staff is dealing with a nose situation for Josh Allen, and they've placed gauze in his right nostril. He's back in the game. What? Tracy, the camera was just on him. He's in the huddle, and he's got a bath towel hanging out of his nose. Don't you think we can figure out what's going on? So just, she's the worst. I can't take her. And then my last
gauze report.
A gauze report. You got to tell me that we can see it. It's hanging out of his. Stop it. And then finally, the last one, J.J. McCarthy. Stop it with the eye black. You look ridiculous. This is not the Little League World Series. You're an NFL player. Stop it. Just enough with this guy. Like he paints his whole face with the stuff. You don't need it. You look stupid. Stop.
Is he a wrestler?
Exactly.
Ultimate Warrior.
He's got the Ultimate Warrior. You know what I hated about him, and I don't know if he's doing this in the NFL, but in college they were like, he meditates by himself before each game, and he like sit Indian style under the crossbar, and they're like, he needs his time and his total silence. I'm like, he's in the biggest football stadium in the world, sitting under the goalpost.
Sounds like a darkness retreat. What the hell is that?
Really? If he was really meditating, go in the fucking locker room, dude. You're in a 200,000 seat stadium minutes before kickoff. You're meditating under the goalpost, and the announcers are telling us how this is a private ritual for you. It's not an attention whore grabbing moment. No, of course it isn't.
Yeah, guys, Steph and I went to watch the Clemson Georgia Tech game at a bar. We were in Edisto Island this weekend, and there were so many pet peeves there that could have been captured. So to Cardone's most pet peeve, no one could figure out how to figure out any of the TVs. So half the TVs in the place were on like the Roku like screensaver. They didn't even have games on there. It was like that little like it would look like a city going on.
They're on the screensaver.
The best part was we got the game, the Clemson game put on, but there was a guy at the end of the bar, at the end of, let's say, at left hand of the bar. On the right hand of the bar, 2 nice looking blondes showed up. This guy walks from the left hand of the bar to the right hand of the bar to talk to these nice looking blondes. After about 20 minutes, the blondes are gone. The guy, this is at like 12:45 in the afternoon. So this is not like late in the night.
Hell, where
he's done. He's done. The blondes are gone. He's sitting there talking to the bartender, sitting there looking at his drink. All of a sudden, where the blondes were, comes a 90-year-old grizzled like Marine and his grandson, and they're drinking. He was in his 80s for sure. All of a sudden, the guy looks over at these guys and he goes, "Holy shit, we're the beautiful blondes." And he looks at me and Steph, he goes, "Where are the blondes? Where did they go? Where did they go?" and we just laughed the entire time because we're like,
"Yeah, man,
they're gone." and the grizzled Marine just looks at him and he goes, "Do I not look good enough for you?" It was the funniest thing ever. And, and I don't think you could duplicate something like that, anywhere you want. I mean, that's just one of those things that happens. So
You miss every shot you don't take, man.
That's right. Great one said that, didn't he?
So I thought that was hilarious.
It's great.
So Mike, with that,
Cardone is up.
Oh,
Mike
Cardone.
Yeah, I'll. So mine are going to be. I have two short ones, and they're going to be strictly about the Giants. So, it was really about just we've already covered it, but I'm going to pound this fact home again. Last week it was Mike Kafka and the offensive play calling fucking drudgery that looked just gross. This week, this defense, Shane Bowen. We have talked about this a million times, guys, on this pod. We already covered it, but it bears repeating. That play to set up the game-tying field goal. Yeah, what's agonizing about that play is you can see it before it happens. The Giants are 40 yards back. Our corners are 25 yards deep. We have safeties in the back. There's 4 down linemen, and then about 20 yards of there's linebackers there, but you know what I mean. They immediately go into a back pedal, and that 18-yard pass, they still had it. Somehow they still managed to get 3 yards after that, a run there, and it's the play before the play. We talk about it all the time, and it cost the Giants the game. And as I was screaming at Bowen before the snap, I can see it. The whole world can see it. So real quick, the Giants through 2 weeks, here's their rank. 32nd in yards against. There's 32 teams in the league for everyone who's listening.
In case you don't know.
32nd in rushing yards against. 31st in red zone defense. We've created 1 turnover. 16 total over the 19 games since Bowen's been here. We had Wink as our defensive coordinator, and this is guys where I got to throw now Daboll under the bus because somehow whatever happened with Daboll and Wink couldn't get it together. There was some kind of friction or something. We let that guy walk, and we hire a fucking loser from the Tennessee Titans, Shane Bowen, who is a nobody, a nothing, a soft ass, and a loser. And I'm done with I'm done with both our coordinators, and I'm done with our head coach now too. I tell you what, because my second pet peeve, and Hisman, you had mentioned this, you made a great point. The New York Giants, and maybe this is true for all other teams, I don't know, but whenever the Giants have a starter out, in this case, Andrew Thomas, our left tackle, is out. Whenever we fill in a backup guy, he never quietly comes in and just has a game under the radar, especially like an offensive lineman who you're not supposed to hear from offensive linemen because the only time you do is on a back-breaking penalty most of the time. So we have a guy, James Hudson, who I don't even know who this guy was before this year, and I texted on that first drive in case anyone didn't realize he had this man had 4 penalties on the same drive. Unprecedented stuff. He's our backup. Who the fuck is James Hudson III? He goes clubber lang on a guy with a right hook. I was pissed off about the call, thinking we were getting hosed on another bad call. Then they show the ISO cam on Hudson. I almost flew off my couch into what is this? Who is James Hudson? Why is he ruining my life? I couldn't. So he's been texting. He goes, why does our backup guy always have to come in and do this?
Yeah.
We never have a guy come in and Hudson filled in beautifully for Thomas. You didn't hear a sniff. Wilson's backside all day, great protection. We got to credit, Hudson for coming in and doing just a fantastic job. He may even challenge Thomas for his starting job when Thomas gets healthy again. We don't have that.
We can't ask for that.
We get a guy who comes in and is punching people and going off sides and false starting and holding people. It's insanity.
Even if he just wasn't that good, Cardone, even if he gave up 2 sacks, right?
Yeah.
That's a normal thing you'd expect for a backup tackle to do.
Exactly.
Right? But no, now our guy, he has to be terrible and out there throwing haymakers.
This guy has to go mental patient on us. It's remarkable. and maybe this happens around the league, and I don't have but
No.
the New York Giants, they have a guy go out, we bring in a backup, and it is the most incompetent, unbelievably bad situation. It's incredible, guys. It's just incredible. My pet peeve on that is just, who are these backups that have to come in and absolutely blow up a game for us?
Yeah, blow up a game.
And then he Dayball, he finally got his ass out of there. It was even a little too late. And then Hudson is barking on the sidelines at his staff.
James
This
Hudson.
dead weight.
James Hudson.
The third.
So this is almost one of my pet peeves, and I didn't really bring it up, but think about when you look at teams this past week that settled for field goals.
Yep.
The Colts were willing to settle for a 60-yarder.
60.
They got bailed out of it, but Dallas would have settled for a 60-yarder. Guys, think about that for a second. Like, we're settling now. We're sitting there going, we're not going to attempt to go any further. We want to have a 57-yarder and win the game.
I mean, go back and watch that play. Dak is really close to getting sacked.
Yeah.
And if that happens, it's a tie game.
Yeah.
And he wiggles away and of course makes it. What's the equivalent of a 45-yarder for this Aubrey guy? It's like standing on the edge of the goalpost. Like,
It's a layup, literally.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
We got questions, Scott?
We got a ton of questions this week.
Oh boy.
We'll fire through them then.
Yeah. We'll get it moving.
We're running along here.
We don't have to take them all.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. We don't.
I mean,
So yeah. So Peacocks asks when it comes to there it is. He asks when it comes to actually it says when it comes to kickers, how has it gotten so much better? And guys, I don't know if it's gotten so much better other than we just have opened the door over the last 5 years.
I just think it's they're trained differently. I mean,
The
these guys are like muscly and they work out their legs, and when we were growing up, they were guys who were probably smoking butts on the sideline and having a couple beers after the game, and these guys are like actual athletes that are kicking now. I think that's the difference.
but even kickoffs, have you noticed they're trying to put it in that stupid landing zone? They're taking like just a little 3-step drop. It's like a little pitching wedge. Their leg is like a little pitching wedge, and the ball still fires into the end zone somehow. They're kicking these balls 70 yards without even trying.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's the other thing this year is, I don't know, I texted you guys about it, but I don't know if you heard outside of this, but they've the K balls for kicking used to be sort of like the kickers hated the K balls. Well, now they've optimized the K ball for kicking. So kicking should get better. And then how do you not agree with what Novak just said? I mean, they're athletes now. You would think, right, as little as fucking kickers get used these days, that they'd be a little rusty when they do get in there, but no. Now we're drilling 64-yarders now. No problem. It's such a weird dynamic to the game. Like, nobody kicks a field goal under 30 yards anymore.
No. I would also say too, I mean, it might have something to do with, young kids are like, I want to play football, mom and dad. Why don't I want you getting concussions? Why don't you be a kicker?
Why don't you be a kicker?
Remember back in the day, most announcers, like, as the ball's in the air, it's like, it's got the distance. It is. Like, you don't have to say that anymore.
No.
You have to say that. The ball's in the air. It's got the distance. What?
When's the last time you heard someone wonder if it had the distance? That's crazy.
The Peacock also asks, the Giants are the team. How often do we? What is this? Nope. I'm trying to figure out what he said. Let me say this: Jones is 2-0. Does that reflect poorly on Dable or not?
Of course it does. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Yes.
There's no absolutely
100%.
Yeah. And it's not just that they're 2-0. It's just in general the way he's playing. Again, people put too much weight on quarterback team win-loss stats for quarterbacks. Jones is playing great. They got a little lucky to win this week, but
He also asks, is it insane that the Jets passed on Micah when they had a chance to get him? Micah
Who?
Parsons.
Parsons.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, yes.
Who did they take?
I would imagine that was the Sauce Gardner year. I would think, or Zach Wilson, one of the two. Either one.
That's a huge difference.
Well, I don't know what year Micah Parsons was drafted, so I really don't know. But yes, I mean, I don't have a player in the team that I don't know what year it was. Doesn't really matter. I would rather have him than anyone on the team. So yes, it was a mistake.
Micah was taken the same year the Giants took Barkley, I think.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think so.
Oh, that 2018.
Oh, then that was Sam Darnold. So yes, it was a mistake.
That can't be right, can it?
Wasn't Barkley? Yeah, Barkley was 18 draft.
And Barkley was the same year as Darnold.
Yeah, pretty sure.
So my friend Mike asks, did anyone see if Javon Holland picked up a shoe in the game and actually picked it up like Maxwell Smart, which I thought was
He dialed it.
It's a great comment because I love Maxwell Smart from Get Smart, but
Get smart.
I didn't see it. Did you guys see it?
That
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he it was actually, I don't know, it was, he tackled a running back. He pulled his shoe off while he tackled him, and he came up with the shoe, and he dialed it like it was a cell phone, and then talked into it, and then handed it back to the guy.
That's pretty good.
That's hilarious.
21, I think that 2021 was the Micah Parsons draft.
Oh, 21. All right.
Oh, so that was Zach Wilson. So yes.
Okay.
Clearly.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So Mike also asks, and this is a good question too. If the Giants are not out of it by Halloween, but we get a few wins, could it be considered a good win or a good season at the end of the year, or not?
I mean, I don't know. I don't
No.
want to play that hypothetical game because the Giants are not going to be around at Halloween. And it's just things like that get me thinking. What if I don't find enough wins on our schedule for us to be competing at Halloween.
No,
You're not.
we're not getting out of September.
I mean, I would say if somehow we are competing around Halloween, then yeah, that's a good year.
How pathetic is that?
Really
We're still
pathetic.
competing by Halloween. It would be a great year.
Well, I predicted 6 wins. So if they are floating around a few by Halloween, I guess I can't go back on my own predict. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's Novak alluded to this earlier, but we all kind of thought our teams were going to be 0-2, and here we are 0-2, and we're all pissed off.
No.
Well, we all, yeah, I know.
Have you guys ever tried to sync up? And I have done this. Have you ever tried to sync up radio to the video?
Yeah, it's hard.
very
And
hard.
actually, I would love it. I actually want to do that, but you can't. You really can't do it much.
The radio's ahead of the TV. That's it. In the times I've tried it, that's been my problem.
Yeah.
And you can't pause the radio, right? So you can't sync it. I've tried. I
impossible to
really
sync.
the
Yeah.
announcing. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was when I first. No, not when I first moved in this house, but I tried. I tried to get Papa and Banks on the radio and sync it up, and I had it all right for a while. Then it got blown up at halftime, and I just said, "Screw it! I'll listen to these jackholes."
Yeah.
You guys got anything else for tonight?
I got one. We were talking about Novak. I was going to slip it in, but you talk about the when every play you wait for that little yellow box to come up. Like after a play ends and the flag. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but in the Cincinnati game against Jacksonville, the little flag. Cincinnati was it Browning? Because after Burrow went out, it doesn't matter. But he's rolling to his right towards in the red zone there. He throws an incomplete pass, and you see the little yellow flag come up. So I was like, ball's incomplete. Wait a minute, there's a flag. No, it wasn't a flag. Fox or CBS, whoever's doing the game, it was a fucking yellow dildo that got thrown out of from the stands.
Was it really?
Yes. Go look if you haven't seen it. Go look it up. Yellow dildo comes flying out. Perfect timing. Right as the play ends, you see the dildo come out like
That's
in the
awesome.
middle of the screen, and someone on Fox was like, "Ooh, there's a flag down. Let me put up the little
flag
flag
down.
box." No, you should have put up the dildo box.
God, if only they could have sent Wolfson out to check on that thing.
Wouldn't that have been great? Tracy, can you tell what the flag is down there?
Jim, negative. It was actually a giant yellow dildo, Jim. The
Yeah, it's a
NFL is
little
looking
hard
into
to
it and
see.
investigating.
A little hard to see here, Jim. Can't tell.
I had a
Yeah.
whole stack of stats here that I didn't use because I just went on rage rants. But think about how tough this is, guys. The Giants were 1 for 5 in the red zone,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
and they scored 37.
37.
Points.
Yep. Yeah.
Think of how those two things match up. 1 for 5 in the red zone, 37 points.
Mike, it does it. This team continues to trot statistics out there that defy the laws of football. Like it just defies laws.
So the way I read that stat though is if the Giants were 4 for 5, they'd have scored 85 points. Is that what, I don't understand.
I've never in my life heard of a player getting 4 flags on one drive.
No,
One drive.
Never in my life. I really don't think I've ever seen it.
No, that's our backup.
That's
our guy.
That's a guy who's like thinking like maybe like it's instead of quietly coming into the game, hey man, let me just play my best football I can play just so I can somehow sneak maybe into the starting line somehow. Or maybe another team notices me by the end. Something. This is what James Hudson does. Mr. Hudson, well done.
Yeah, if a Giants backup player comes in the game, by God, you're going to know he's there. You're going to know he's there.
All right, fellas.
all right.
Love to see it.
All right, we'll see everyone next week.
All right, boys. 0-3. Here we come.
Get ready for 0-3. Should be
Apologize to the nation for having to watch the Giants on Sunday night.
Yeah, sorry guys. Sorry everybody in the world.
We'll see you next week.
Later.
What in the world is going on with Cost?